Hey everyone, it's Mara Allard, and there will be no tree conversation because it is yet again raining. So we will pivot. And I guess what I want to talk about today is a word that I chose for the year. You can choose a word for the year at any point in the year. There are no rules here. It doesn't have to be January. You can wake up today and say, I'm choosing a word. Last year, the word was forgiveness. It chose me. This year, I chose the word. And if you've ever chosen a word for the year, the word takes on its own meaning. And you'll look back at the end of the year when you review it and see how that word shaped you. Now, my word that came just to me in 2026 for no reason at all was commit. And what I thought commit would be so far is showing up completely different, right? Isn't that how always things go? But I wrote the word down. It sits on my altar. And I'm aware that that word is in my energy field. Commit. Now, I thought commit would be maybe you should, be less controlling in certain of my personal relationships. Release a habit if I have it, commit to that. That's what I thought commit would be, right? Okay, I'm not going to tell my husband to do this. I'm going to release control over the situation, or I'm not going to shop, or I'm not going to do whatever I do that I don't like. I thought those would be the commitments. But it's turning out to be completely different. Sure, I need to address those, right? But maybe doing these other things will be the answer to the problems I thought it would be, right? So maybe in doing these things I have committed to, they will help show me a different way to look at the other areas of my life. So what have I committed to? Unbeknowingly, I committed to making sourdough bread. I always wanted to make sourdough bread, but I was daunted by the process. It looked like a huge commitment, like 2 or 3 days or more of making one loaf of bread. But something kept pulling at me. And can I tell you, when I finally mastered it, how good it felt to have made something from scratch? I planted seeds in my garden. Some things are sprouting. I'm committed to that. What's that mean? I have to water. I have to look at things. I have to check the soil. But one of the biggest things I committed to this year was learning to hike. Now, this isn't like, I did an 11.6 mile hike last week up a mountain. And let me just tell you, the last mile and a half, I wanted to quit. 100%, kept sitting down, stopping, dizzy, out of breath. My heart rate was crazy high. And I kept stopping and just saying, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this. And I made it. I made it the whole 11.6 miles. And the feeling I had was, I can't wait to do it again. Just like when I made the bread. It took days. I can't wait to do this again. These things that are slow, these things that are hard, when you finish them or complete them, it's like something shifts energetically in you. You change something. You're doing something that you don't usually do. And that's hard. For example, my husband yesterday went on a a motorcycle ride group. But he had to show up and be a newcomer. And whenever we do something out of our comfort zone or routine, we are actually rewiring our brain and setting our energy in a different direction. And these can be little things. Like I said, getting a plant and tending to it, committing to it. That's my word, not your word, but that would be something for me. What is my word and how do I show up? But I can tell you, at least for me, doing things that I've never done before that aren't big, making bread and going for a hike are not huge things, but they were new to me. They were things that I didn't believe I was a baker or I was a hiker. Do we put these labels on ourselves? I'm not this. I'm not a gardener. I'm terrible with plants. I'm a terrible baker. I can't walk a mile. We label ourselves. and then we believe the label. This is a challenge to start unlabeling what you think you are. It's all in our head. You know, we see quadriplegics finish marathons. They're not running. They're using their hands in a wheelchair. They're still doing that marathon. They didn't tell themselves they couldn't. It doesn't have to be that grand. You can bake bread. You can plant a seed. You can take a walk in a different neighborhood. You can do something that you thought you couldn't, or you don't think you are that person. I think it's even more about the labeling of ourselves. I'm not that. So I challenge you. What is one thing that you wish you could do? Play an instrument, anything. And could you just start to think of yourself in that way? You don't even have to pick it up yet. Can you start to see yourself in a different way? That changes your energy. And it changes when you change your energy and you change things about yourself that you believe, you start shifting things. Things start moving in different directions that you may be very surprised about. Have a great day.